Offensive coordinator Matt Limegrover is with us now. And, Coach, we were talking about the experience you have in the offensive line. We've seen that develop over the 3 years that you've been here. As you look at this offense, what needs to come together now for it to be as good as you want it to be?
I think that I think you hit the nail on the head. I talked with Tom Dienhart last summer, and I said, I wish we could kind of go into hibernation for a year, not in a bad way, because I knew we had a lot of young kids. And last year was a tough year for us. We kind of limped to the finish line, but we learned a lot of lessons there, and we got a lot of guys some playing time. So, the depth all over the field is really, really much better than it has been in the past. So offensively, we said, okay, what kind of identity do we want to forge? And we started to develop that in the bowl game, and we carried it over into the spring. And that's really what we're trying to do right now, is really trying to hone that down to a fine point of who we really want to be and make sure everybody feels comfortable. And that's a huge challenge, but I think the kids have been great with it so far.
Having said that, Coach, what's job one then during training camp?
Just continue to develop that physical mentality. I think the great thing is, and Coach Clays will probably talk about it, their number one priority on defense is to stop the run. Our number one priority on offense is to establish the run. That's who we want to be on both sides of the football. So it's been great during fall camp to have the back and forth, and you can tell when your team's getting better when one day the offense will go out and take it to the defense, and the very next day the defense turns around and says, hey, we're not going to stand for it, and they punch the offense back in the mouth, and that continues to escalate. And that's what we've really been able to have here, which is exciting for me as an offensive coach, not only to see us offensively kind of take that step forward, but also our defense continue to, everything we put in front of them, they answer it and they come back with a punch of their own, so to speak.
Talk about the progression of the quarterback position and some of the guys that are going to have to step up from the wide receiver position as well.
Yeah, I think one of the greatest things is that, Philip Nelson starting out, it was tough. I mean, you talk about maybe there aren't too many worse places to start your college career than in Camp Randall. So we kind of knew we were throwing him to the wolves, and he's shown that even that 6 games of experience, even that half year, and being able to take part in the bowl game and play in the bowl game, that's really propelled him and carried him through. And the great thing about it is we've got another young kid, Mitch Leidner, who is such a competitive kid that he's been pushing Philip's been pushing him. There's a tremendous competition. Both those guys have really taken a step up, and I think Philip understands that even though he has that half year, that isn't a whole lot with a guy like Mitch and his physical ability. So there's been great competition there, and those guys really push each other, friendly competition, and I've seen overall our quarterback play rise up, and I'll be honest with you, a big question mark we have is wide receiver. We have some different guys in some different spots. We've got young kids, some guys who weren't able to play last year. So it's kind of been, I don't want to say a revolving door, but it hasn't been real settled. And what we're hoping for is that now with guys like Isaac Frichte, Derek Engel, KJ May, that we're now starting to establish that, and bringing new guys in won't be such a shock to the system.
Offensive coordinator Matt Limegrover, thanks a lot, Coach.
You got it. Thank you, guys.
The offense in the bowl game, definitely a bit of a departure from what we had seen all season. About 15 more carries than they had averaged, a season-high 54 rushing attempts through just 19 passes in the game, their second fewest attempts against an FBS team last year.